Well, I'm sort of celebrating the fact that it's a beautiful warm day outside. It's a little cold in the barn, but I thought one last time I'm going to see if I can just teach in a shirt, no hat, not bundled up. I hope eventually to get a wood burner. I will, I'm sure, get a wood burner going in here, and that might help a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to look like one of these films about the climbing Everest, all bundled up, but I'll still be teaching. Okay, 51st day, first video. First of all, tomorrow there will be no class. On Friday, here in the United States, it's a holiday. And since I'm making this class fit a school year, so it could be used by a homeschooler for a school year, I wouldn't teach Friday. But I've been invited to go to an elementary school to teach about music tomorrow. A little scared. I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, but K through 3, whoa, I might make them all cry. I don't know. And then 4 through 6. Well, I'll tell you about it on Friday, because what I'm going to do is I won't teach tomorrow. There goes a tractor. I won't teach tomorrow, but I will then on Friday. So be warned of that. If you go to look for my class, it won't be there. All right, let's start in linguistics, 8 point whatever. A paradigm. I put a wavy line. If you have put a wavy line under whatever you have above there. And because this is kind of a new thought. A paradigm is a way of organizing information. A paradigm. We carry paradigms in our heads. Sometimes with my students I'll say, I'll go over to my file cabinet and pull out the drawers, and I'll say, now I've got a lot of information here, but if I dump this on the floor, the organization would be gone. The information would still be there, but it wouldn't be organized. The paradigm would be destroyed. Well, one of the very important paradigms, of course, is alphabetical order. But in any case, there are other paradigms. The paradigm that I'm using for the chronological survey is chronology. I'm using time instead of just telling you about anything I feel like having to do with the classics. I'm putting that discipline on myself. All right, well, a paradigm is a way of organizing information. And 3 examples of paradigms that we're going to use in grammar are, first of all, a declension. And I've boxed these terms when they're terms that you really need to know. A declension. For nouns and for pronouns, you use a paradigm called a declension. You're about to see one. When we get to verbs, we're going to use a paradigm called a conjugation to organize all the information about verbs. And then when you get to adjective and adverbs, there's a paradigm called a comparison. And you know, English is handy to get started in this, because English in some ways is a very simple language. Students, a lot of times they'll come to me and say, is English the hardest language there is? And I'll say, that's hard to deal with. It depends what language you're starting from. But in some ways, English is easy. So in a lot of, that's one of the reasons that students coming up through the grades might never run into a declension or a conjugation or a comparison. Why would you need it? English is so simple in some ways. But I'm going to show it to you. It works in English, and then in other languages it becomes very useful. All right, now let's jump to the morphology section. I've been trying to teach you all the average student of foreign language ever needs to know about nouns, and I'm using English. Put a wavy line underneath whatever was there last, and write down the declension of a noun. Well, a declension ends up being like a chart. And what we do is we set up sort of a grid, singular and plural. This would be number. There are 2 numbers that can influence the way inflections occur in nouns. And this is case. There's subjective case, possessive case, and objective case. Now, if you make it like a grid and you take a noun like woman, that's a little bit more interesting noun than some. Really, in English, you almost don't need this, because English in some ways is so simple. Well, if woman is the subject of a sentence, like the woman sang, it's going to be like woman. Well, if it's the subject of a sentence, subjective case, and it's more than one woman, well, then you would say the women sang. Fine. If that woman is singular, there's only one woman, and that woman has something, it is the woman's opinion. It is the woman's song. But if there's more than one woman and they have a song, they're singing together, now it is the women's song. That would be the possessive case, the plural. You get to the objective. In English, it's the same. I thank the woman. Now, I'm the subject here. The thanking is going to the woman, so it's objective, but it's the same. If the woman thanks me, it's woman. If I thank the woman, it's woman. And when it comes to plural, if I thank the women, well, it's the same as up here. If the women thank me, it doesn't change. So as I say, English in this way is so simple. But this declension having a declension available and understanding how it works will be so useful in Latin and so useful in German. It's almost hard to imagine studying either of those without a declension. All right, that's one video. There'll be 3. The next one should be quite short, and so do come back, please.